A presidential candidate is making his way back to the big little city for the second time this year. Who he is and where you can meet him coming up in the live report.
All righty, thank you, Gianna. Plus, today is the deadline for ride-hailing companies to apply to operate in the Silver State. What is next for Uber and Lyft?
Also still to come, the manhunt for two escaped convicts has come to an end. How law enforcement was able to track down Richard Matt and David Sweat. We'll have that and much more coming up for you on your June 29th, 2015.
You're watching News 4 Today, on your side, in high definition.
And hey, good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to the last half hour of News 4 Today. First half hour of Mornings on Fox 11. I'm Samantha Boatman.
And I'm Phil Frankmore. Yeah, welcome to this edition of News 4 Today. Final half hour of the show on your 29th day of June. Hard to believe we are less than a week away from the 4th of July.
I know, 4th of July coming up this Saturday. A lot of things planned around town, including the annual Star Spangled Sparks. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about that. Also tell you the best place to park, because we know that parking is limited down around
They're helping you out, though. They're going to have some shuttle stops along the way, several places in Sparks. So if you're going to be wanting to head to Victorian Square, they can help you get there.
Yeah, we'll also be getting your forecast with meteorologist Tim Studebaker in just a bit. But first in your news this half hour, presidential hopefuls continued to come to Reno to campaign, and some are making more than one stop to northern Nevada. News 4's Gianna Georgie is live at the Atlantis Casino with more on a candidate who's back in town today. Good morning, Gianna.
That's right, Sam. The most recent presidential candidate to make her way here was Hillary Clinton just a few weeks ago. But now today, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul will make his way to Reno for the second time. He first came to Reno back in January, but he wasn't officially running at that point in time. Senator Paul is planning to make multiple stops in Nevada today. According to the Associated Press, he'll make stops at casino resorts in Reno, Elko, Mesquite, and Las Vegas throughout the day. The events are part of his Stand with Rand tour and are being hosted by local activists and supporters. Paul has visited Nevada several times since announcing his presidential bid. Mostly he's been going to Las Vegas, which included a rally in April. His father, former Texas Congressman Ron Paul, had strong support from Nevada's Libertarian Republican Party faithful during his presidential bid back in 2008 and 2012. Now, today's event is open to the public, so if you want to come meet the presidential hopeful, it starts at 9 a.m. It's in the Grand One room inside of the Atlantis Casino and Resort. Now, this is just one of many presidential hopefuls that we expect to see coming up in the months coming forward. Live, I'm Gianna Georgie. Back to you.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it. All right, let's take a quick peek outside. We mentioned 4th of July is headed our way. Looks like things actually might cool down by the time we get there, though. Right?
Relatively speaking, yeah.
5 degrees or so?
Yeah, down to the upper 90s by then, as opposed to the hundreds that we've been seeing. You know, yesterday was kind of the exception. We were near the 100-degree mark for several days earlier into the weekend and the latter portion of last week. And then we got a break yesterday, but now we're returning to those hundreds and near 100s, 99 today, the high. But yeah, by the time we get to July 4th, we may cool down to the upper 90s. Check out some of the numbers over the last few days here. In red are the days that we matched the record or broke the record. So for Friday and Saturday in Reno Sparks, we tied the record on Friday at 100 degrees. Saturday, 101, broke the old record of 100. Then we got that break on Sunday, 91 versus the record of 103. There was a good amount of cloud cover out there yesterday, so that's kind of why we had trouble getting the hot temperatures into the area. But we're returning to hot temperatures today. Up at South Lake Tahoe, we tied the record on Thursday at 90 degrees. We beat the record on Friday at 89 versus 87, the old record. Then we tied again on Saturday, so 3 record days in a row before that cool down for your Sunday up at South Lake Tahoe. Either way, though, again, hot temperatures return today. We're looking at dry conditions on Doppler radar for now. Not too much going on out there at the moment. Later today, some isolated storms possible. Just like we saw yesterday, just like we saw Saturday. It happens that one of the ones on Saturday hit Reno directly. So a lot of our viewing audience did see a lot of thunderstorm activity on Saturday. I should say one brief period of thunderstorm activity on Saturday. But it was hit and miss. You know, a lot of towns didn't get in on the action. Yesterday, different towns got in on the action. We'll continue that pattern now for several more days. Very mild start to the day. We will see a hot one later on. 99 the high in Reno Sparks, 97 in Carson City, 83 today in Southlake, and 99 in Fernley. Returning to near record territory for the next several days. We'll cover that coming up in just a bit on that 7-day forecast. For now, back to you.
All right, Tim, thanks. Let's see how your Monday morning commute is doing so far with Trooper Dave Gibson from NHP. Good morning, Trooper Dave.
Hey, good morning, Sam. And just to let you guys know that I have no accidents to report around the Reno-Sparks area. However, there are slowdowns and congestion around the Spaghetti Bowl. And just as a reminder, 580 southbound, there are rerouted traffic restrictions with Seren closures because Plum Lane is still closed at this time. So alternate routes are still advised at times as well out there. So make sure that you guys buckle up, move over for those emergency vehicles, take a look out there for those motorcycles before changing lanes, and always move over 3 feet for those bicycles out there because it is the law. You guys be safe. Have a wonderful morning. I'll send it back to you at the desk.
All right, Trooper Dave, we appreciate it. Thank you. Well, starting today, there are several traffic controls throughout Sparks due to maintenance projects. Sparks Boulevard is going to be reduced to 1 lane in the northbound direction by Prater. The speed will be reduced to 25 miles per hour there. That lane closure will last until Wednesday. Then there will be another lane reduction on Victorian Avenue from Rock Boulevard to 16th Street until Thursday. So they'll clear that up in time for the 4th of July celebrations. And the last lane reduction will be between Audi Boulevard and 9th Street on Silverado. Traffic will be reduced to 1 lane in the northbound direction until Thursday here. So for updated information, traffic controls, visit our website, rtcwashoe.com.
And for the first time, free weekend transportation at Incline Village will be offered this summer. Officials with the Incline General Improvement District have approved a shuttle service that will run on Saturdays and Sundays starting now until August 16th. The shuttle will operate from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. with extended hours on July 3rd and July 4th. It will make 7 northbound and 7 southbound stops throughout Incline. The main stops will be at the golf courses, the beaches, and rec centers. The shuttle will stop at each location once every hour. Once again, this is free, and children under the age of 12 must be accompanied by an adult.
As we mentioned at the top of this half hour, 4th of July right around the corner. And the Nugget says that they're proud to be hosting the 16th annual Star-Spangled Sparks Fireworks Show this year. Nugget officials say everybody's invited to celebrate along with them at their fireworks show. People will get to enjoy the food at a variety of vendors around Victorian Square, and complimentary shuttles will provide round-trip transportation from Legends to the RTC Centennial Plaza at Victorian Square there. People should wait for the ride outside of Fuddruckers and Popeyes starting at 4 p.m. on Independence Day. Parking at the event will be limited.
It's now 6:37 on your Monday morning, and federal BLM officials are defending their request for housing accommodations during the Burning Man Festival. Burning Man organizers refuse to supply amenities such as flushing toilets, washers and dryers, showers, air conditioning, and refrigerators that would be located at the Bureau's on-site camp in the Black Rock Desert. They say it would cost $1 million and hike the permit fees to about $5 million. The Bureau's Winnemucca district manager says the cost of the portable units is being exaggerated by organizers. He also says the special compound would only offer basic amenities for top agency officials who oversee the festival.
Well, today's the deadline for state officials to get regulations in place and accept applications by ride-hailing companies to operate in our state. That is so Nevada transportation regulators can fast-track those regulations for companies such as Uber and Lyft. Democratic State Senator Kelvin Atkinson says that the goal is to get ride-hailing services running here in Nevada by July 1st, although representatives from those major companies tell regulators that they weren't sure they would be ready to start by then. The bills allowing for ride-hailing companies passed the legislature after a lot of debate. One imposes a 3% fare tax projected to raise more than $70 million over 2 years.